Why have I got no power? This engine really is sluggish. Oh no, wait, no, I'm in third. The new Fiat 500 is finally here, but it is electric only. So what if you want a new 500 but you're not quite ready to dive into EV motoring? It's okay, because Fiat can offer you this, the new Fiat 500 Hybrid. Now, why am I doing that? Well, for starters, this isn't a new car. This particular design has been around for quite a few years now. The other reason is because, well, this isn't strictly a hybrid. This is as much a hybrid as I am Bayesian. I am, but very loosely. This can't be driven on EV only, nor can you plug it in. So is this car actually worth it? Keep watching to find out. Under the bonnet, I've got a 1 litre 3-cylinder naturally aspirated petrol engine which offers 70 horsepower along with 90 newton meters of torque. Normally at this point I would give you some performance stats, but that does seem a little bit irrelevant, doesn't it? So of course, let me speak about fuel economy. On a combined run, Fiat states that this engine can offer up to 53.3 mpg and it emits 119 grams per kilometre. This means for the first year of VED, you'll be required to pay £180, and compared to the old 1.2 litre engine, this engine is up to 30% more efficient when it comes to emissions. This engine has of course got the help of a mild hybrid system. The battery, the lithium battery, is under the front passenger seat and has got a capacity of 11 amp hours. I know I said earlier that the performance stats for this car are pretty irrelevant, but in case you are wondering, this will hit 62 miles per hour in a rather yawn-inducing 13.8 seconds, and the top speed, in case you're really wondering, is 104 miles per hour. With this car only having 70 horsepower, the engine does need to be worked quite hard. Thankfully, this is a city car, therefore when you're driving in and around town, this engine is just fine. Bizarrely, in my opinion, it is mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox. I may be mistaken, but I've driven a few Fiat 500s and Abarth 595s. I think this is the first one I've ever driven with a 6-speed, not a 5-speed. Not a complaint, just a bit quirky. The other quirky thing about this is the driving setup. Like every other Abarth and Fiat 500 I've driven, you're perched quite high up. It almost feels like a small SUV. For some people, that would be great. But for me, at 6'2", yeah, I would like to be sat lower down. It feels like I'm sat on the car, not in it. Going back to the 6-speed manual I mentioned a few moments ago, the changes are okay, they're nothing special, but they're not horrid either. The change is relatively assured, it falls into place rather nicely, although there have been a few occasions where, when stationary, I've gone for first and in fact got to third. So I've set off and gone, why have I got no power? This engine really is sluggish. Oh no, wait, no, I'm in third. That would explain that one. As much as this engine isn't designed for performance or indeed driving pleasure, I think it actually makes quite a good noise. It's got a nice little growl to it because of course it is a 3-cylinder unit, and the exhaust has got quite a nice thrum to it. It sounds a bit old school in its approach, but let's face it, this design is a bit old-fashioned. Now that I'm at slightly faster speeds, let me touch upon refinement. As you may hear, there is a fair amount of road noise coming into the cabin. It isn't deafening, but it is there. The wind noise isn't too bad though, in all fairness. Now I have driven this on an A road, and as you can imagine, this isn't the best companion for a motorway cruise. Not that this car was designed for that kind of thing, of course. The 500 is a pretty easy car to drive. The pedals are nice and light. The steering's light, although if you want it even lighter, you've got a button on the dash and that puts it into city mode. So all of a sudden, you've got really light steering. You can just steer it with your fingertips, which will be really handy for navigating tight spaces or multi-storey car parks, as I demonstrated yesterday when I did the twin test with the Mi Electric with fellow YouTuber Pocket Rockets. That video may be ready to watch depending on how I've edited the videos, how my schedule is. Now that I'm on a faster road, let's see how the 500 handles. Let me take it out of city mode on the steering. So the 500 hybrid can make progress well enough, but you have to be patient. I have to be even more patient because I'm now stuck behind an iX35. I'm sure there are plenty of you that aren't really fussed about the handling. You can give a monkey's whether or not it goes around the corner well, but oh, a bit of a thud there. But in case you're wondering, the handling is so-so. The grip is okay. The body rolls quite a bit in the corners. However, Fiat has said that because of this new hybrid, well, mild hybrid powertrain, it has actually lowered the centre of gravity for this car. Therefore, it should theoretically have less body roll. From my muscle memory, from driving previous 500s, I don't really notice a difference. I think I'd have to drive an older car back to back to really see a clear difference between the two driving styles. The Fiat 500 of course has a short wheelbase, and that can be bad news for comfort. This car isn't overly uncomfortable, it's not too bad in all honesty. It's not as comfortable as the Seat Mi Electric I'm also testing this week. The Mi Electric has got better damping, the ride is a bit more compliant and a bit less jiggly. This is by no means offensive, and if you're just driving it around town, I'm sure you'll find it just fine. It's not the best riding car going, but would you expect it to be? Probably not. The seat is quite comfortable, but I don't know how it would fare for a longer journey. Although again, I know the car's not really designed for that kind of driving. Yeah, so in the corners, quite a bit of lean, a bit of tyre squeal as well, which is quite interesting because I wasn't going through that corner particularly fast. Mind you, this car will of course be on skinny tyres that are more designed for economy than performance and grip. Speaking of economy, what kind of fuel consumption have I been getting for this week? So on trip A, in which I've done about 82 miles, I've got 37 mpg, not overly fantastic. That is a mix of different driving. For the trip B, which was yesterday's driving, which was mostly, well again that was kind of combined as well, come to think of it, I got, when it loads up, 45.2 mpg. Not bad, but nothing really amazing either, is it? For what it's designed for, i.e. being a city car, the 500 is pretty good at its job. It is easy to manoeuvre, easy to park, all the controls are light, and it is a very good tool for navigating a city centre. The visibility is good as well. Okay, the C-pillars are really thick, but whilst I've had the car, I've not had any issues with visibility. And in case you do get a little bit stuck, this trim level, as standard, does come with rear parking sensors, so that is quite handy. Speaking of trim levels, the Fiat 500 Hybrid is available in no less than 7 trim levels. They range from £13,705 all the way through to £16,935. To keep things simple, I'm going to cover just one trim level, although that isn't as simple as it may seem after all. That is because the car shown in this video is the lounge version, which is obsolete. It has since been replaced by the Connect version, which is a very similar specification. The Connect trim level is one up from the entry-level Pop version and starts from £15,435. Standard features include 15-inch alloys, rear parking sensors, sport body style, 7-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, cruise control, air conditioning and front fog lights. The car tested here does also have Tomtom Navigation, but that is an optional extra. The same can be said for the rather eye-catching Epic Blue paintwork, which sadly isn't available as an option for the Connect version. There's not much in the way of safety equipment, but you do get 7 airbags as standard. Having said that, there's no autonomous emergency braking, which seems almost unheard of in 2021, so the Fiat 500 Hybrid is a bit behind the times. It will probably come as little surprise that back in 2017, Euro NCAP gave the 500 just 3 out of 5 stars. It's not just the safety tech that is a little bit dated, the same can be said for the interior. As I mentioned at the top of the video, this particular design has been around for what feels like donkey's years, and it's really starting to show on the inside. I know the 500 is all about harking back to its retro roots, but there is a difference between retro and dated. This car for me on the inside is dated Fiat UK. For a car that would be 10 years old, this would probably feel a little not so cutting edge, and the Fiat 500 was the first car I ever tested on Car Obsession, the first car I had for a week, and that was 5 years ago. The interior of that car compared to this car is almost identical, and that's half a decade that has gone by. That's quite a significant amount of time. As I've stated in other reviews of Fiat products, the touchscreen is nice to look at, but my word is it sluggish. It's almost as sluggish as this 1 litre engine. You hit something, you wait for it, you wait for it, you wait for it. Oh, it's there. Hit something else, you wait for it, and the process continues. It isn't the worst touchscreen I've ever used. That accolade probably has to go to Honda. Sorry, Honda. But it's a long way away from being the best. As an option, this car's got the Tomtom Navigation, which does work. It does work well once you've got it set up. Because this car is a mild hybrid, not a hybrid, you are not fooling us, Fiat. You do of course get regenerative braking, so when you lift off the accelerator, you get a battery icon to the right hand side of the speedo, which shows you that you are recuperating energy that would otherwise be lost. On top of that, if I go into the trip computer, you can actually see how much energy you have recuperated. So once it catches up with me, because it is a little bit slow to respond, and it's got many different options. There we go, energy gain. So I have gained 1.38 kilowatt hours. Oh, good, I think. I'll be honest, I'm not convinced by this car. For me, it feels like a desperate attempt for Fiat to keep an aging platform going. It's fine guys, the new 500 is here. Just turn off the life support. This model has served its time, just let it retire gracefully. I don't understand why this has been kept going. Yes, I know it's got a mild hybrid and it's more economical compared to previous Fiat 500s, but this is still an old car. I know there's some of you watching that may not want an electric 500, but you still want a new 500, but I would urge you just to go into the used car market, because I don't think this is the best way to spend your money. And I have to be honest. I would like to say a massive thank you for Fiat UK for loaning me this car for the week, and of course a thank you for you guys watching this video. I do hope you have enjoyed it or found it useful or informative. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.